Ms. Morgan, will you please call roll?
Chairman Langley,
Here.
Vice
Here.
Barrett,
Here.
Ms. Jeeves,
Here.
Ms. Davis, Ms. Kirkpatrick.
And we do have a quorum, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We've got a couple of commissioners that have appointments. Mr. Newton, if you'll come on up and sign in with Ms. Morgan. Okay. Yes. Yeah, go ahead and sign in, and then you can have a seat, and we'll let Mr. Duke come and approach the commission.
Good afternoon. We're having a few audio issues today, so I'll have to stand here and hold the mic. And before you today, you have a request for a certificate of appropriateness for a project at 201 Gin Shop Hill Road. That property is the Continental Eagle Corporation property, and there are several buildings on that site, so I will try to get you in the right location. If you will look behind the application that's a part of your packet, there should be a map that looks, has an aerial photograph. We will be talking about the one that's labeled C, 1854. The proposed work on that property, just to kind of take you through it, and I believe Mr. Newton will talk from the standpoint of the applicant. The property is owned by the Continental Eagle Corporation. The petitioner is the Historic Prattville Redevelopment Authority. The work that is proposed, you will see in my staff report, could legitimately be called maintenance, but will require a good bit of visible work and will look, for all intents and purposes, to the public like some kind of exterior alteration. So it was my advice to Historic Prattville Redevelopment Authority that they needed to come before you and at least let you consider a certificate, whether a certificate of appropriateness was appropriate in this matter. So the work that's proposed on the 1854 building is a replacement of a ceiling beam on the far western end of the building. If you look at some of the pictures that are part of your packet, you can see that the building is a hip roof. If you look at some of the drawings that are provided there from the hair survey back in 1996, you can see that that's generally a king post truss that runs through the length of the building, except under the hip, where it's just a plain ceiling truss connected to the roof trusses there in the hip. That truss, that beam is in the opinion of the structural engineers looked at it, is an imminent failure. And if that beam fails, then there is the possibility it could take a good portion of that into the roof and possibly sidewalls, and could cause a collapse that could go through other floors of the structure. And I will let Mr. Newton tell you from HPRA why they've stepped up and want to take care of this project. But the work that's proposed is replacement of that beam. That will, because of some safety issues, that will necessitate removing a portion of the roof, and that being mostly done by use of a crane and a scissor lift. So that will be a visible repair. That will be something the public will definitely notice. The result, though, will be the roof will be put back. Any rotted decking will be replaced. So we're talking about wood for wood. We're talking about no exterior changes. Cornice boards that are removed will be replaced. Those that are beyond repair will be replaced with like materials. So basically, we would consider this to be maintenance, and you can see that written up in the staff report. Be glad to answer any questions. I'm sorry to throw a lot at you in a hurry.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Duke at this time? Thank you. Mr. Newton, if you would like to come up and add anything, Mr. Duke has done a great job in giving us some background.
No, I have nothing to add.
Okay, are there any questions for Mr. Newton at this time? He went to the trouble of signing in and everything.
You can say something. Had to answer any questions.
Looks like we're good. Thank you, Mr. Newton. Mr. Duke, would you like to come back up and see if there's any more questions for you? Yes, sir.
The only thing that I would add to this is that there is no harm in if you feel this is a good project in granting a certificate of appropriateness. It's not necessarily, in my opinion, required, but I think I would ask from a staff perspective that there might be some positive affirmation of that this is appropriate. You can see also in the staff report, this has been, and I forgot to add, is that this has been reviewed by the State Historical Commission. There is obviously on this property a great deal of concern that when it eventually gets to some type of redevelopment, that it be available for tax credits, and how you deal with the exterior of the building and the Secretary of the Interior's guidelines on rehabilitation and will impact the federal tax credit. So we're trying to make sure we don't impact that. And so the state has looked at it, and they are in agreement that this will not impact the eligibility for tax credits. So signed off on it. We would certainly ask that you do the same, if that's the wish of the commission.
Well, if I can just make a comment, I think it's a simple decision. It seems to me that you either fix the roof or lose the building. And my only complaint is that it wasn't done sooner. So I'm glad that it's getting done. I think it's definitely, we should deem it appropriate.
Is that a motion?
If you would like it to be one, I would motion that we deem a certificate of appropriateness for this project.
A motion's been made. Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Chair votes aye, and the request is passed. And I also, as chairman, would like to say thank you for stepping forth and doing this. Not only is it an asset to our historic district, but it will be an asset to the entire city and the community. So thank you. Is there any other thing we need to cover with you, Mr. Duke?
No, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.